Welcome to the Central Indiana Sports Report's Class 2A Sectional 38 preview with Michelle Garmon of the Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader, Grant Shouse of the Action Sports Network, and we are joined by Rob Hunt of the Herald Bulletin, Cade Hampton of the Muncie Star Press, and Eastern Hancock head coach Josh Holden to talk about Sectional number 38. Before we get to the previews and mine, Michelle's, and Grant's predictions at the end of the podcast, just want to let you know what's going on with the Central Indiana Sports Report. We have weekly IU, Purdue, Pacers, Colts, Fever, and IndyCar podcasts, plus previews and reaction shows. We also have our high school football preview and prediction show, usually on Thursday. It'll be on Friday this week, because of all the sectional previews that we've been doing. And Michelle and I will be back on Friday night into Saturday morning to talk about all the scores and highlights from the first round of the sectional on our scoreboard show. And next week we'll be previewing our local 5A and 6A sectionals. Please do us a huge favor and like and subscribe if you want to help us continue to grow and thrive. Really appreciate it. Before we get to Rob Hunt, just want to tell you about the sectional lineup, and man, is this one a doozy. In the top half of the bracket, it's 8-1 Northwestern at 6-3 Shenandoah. The winner faces either 8-1 Triton Central or 7-2 Centerville. How about that? Just 7 losses between the 4 teams. In the other half of the bracket, it's unbeaten and third-ranked LaPel against 8-1 Winchester, which has won 5 in a row. Then it's 5-4 Eastern Hancock at Union County, which is only 1-8, the only team with a losing record in the sectional. 7 teams absolutely have to feel like they can win this. However, LaPel is the favorite. As I mentioned, we'll start the podcast with Rob Hunt of the Herald Bulletin talking about the LaPel Bulldogs. Then Cade Hampton of the Muncie Star Press talking about the Winchester Golden Falcons and the Shenandoah Raiders. Then Josh Holden, Eastern Hancock's first-year head coach. Then Grant, Michelle, and I will return to give our predictions on the sectional right after we hear from our guests. By the way, we've done 12 of these preview podcasts, so if you hear any editing issues or anything like that, please forgive us. We continue our preview of Class 2A Sectional 38, and Michelle and I have been talking about how good Sectional 36 is. It's possible Sectional 38's even better. LaPel, of course, ranked 3rd in the state, the defending champion. We're joined by Rob Hunt of the Herald Bulletin. And Rob, that is one tough path for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I mean, this is an 8-team sectional. Only one team is below 500. That's Union County. I mean, even Eastern Hancock is 5-4, and they took LaPel, unbeaten LaPel, right down to the wire just last week. So there are no easy outs in this sectional. You got rematch on one side between 8-1 Northeastern. The only loss was a 50-43 game against Shenandoah, who they play this week. LaPel is at Winchester, 1 loss. Centerville's in there with 2 losses. They play 7th-ranked Triton Central. I mean, this sectional top to bottom. Obviously, there's some big schools out there that have played some great sectionals. But when you talk about a 2A, this is as good as it gets. The sectional top to bottom is really loaded. 3 9-win teams just to get out of the sectional. So this is nothing new. It's something they've done before. They're prepared to do it again. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh, you're right. I was going to ask you because every week I think I pick LaPel to win, and I picked them to win because I think they have the best quarterback in our area when it comes to smaller schools. I know there's some Hamilton County, a couple Hamilton County or Indy area quarterbacks that might be a little bit better, but Devin Cragen, I mean, he's delivered a lot, and because he's done that and brought him back, you get the sense that LaPel feels like there's not any situation that they can't route. I mean, that in a situation where they're really never out of a game because they've been able to come back and win so many close games.
Sure. I think two that obviously stand out would be the Indian Creek game. They had to rally and score a couple times in the last minute or so to win that one. And then Eastern Hancock, I was there. I mean, there were a couple times they were out of that game. I mean, Eastern Hancock was out playing them. Craig made some plays. He and Jackson Cripe, who's a junior receiver, is a really dangerous threat on the outside. I mean, he's so athletic, and Craig has a lot of confidence in him, throwing him the ball in a jump ball type situation, 50-50 ball, that kind of thing. But yeah, I think when you look at a guy who's been starting a quarterback since he was a freshman, so he's got a ton of experience. There's not many situations he hasn't seen. There's not many throws he can't make. And I know class figures into it somewhere, but he's top 10 now in the state of Indiana's history in yardage, passing yardage. When you're on the top 10 list with that in terms of the state of Indiana in high school, I mean, you've accomplished something. And he's going for his, I believe this will be a third sectional in his 4 years back to back. And, you look at those tough, hard fought wins. And even the Shenandoah game, which was 28-12 was the final, was a pretty hard fought game. Shenandoah was pretty good. And he made some plays in all those games to help it win.
If Lapel has an Achilles heel, and I'm not finding it doesn't have to be major, so what would it be as they go into the session? What would be a concern?
I don't know. I think here's the thing. Sometimes they do struggle against a high octane passing offense, but I think sometimes it's because they have really talented defensive backs, athletic players who make big plays. And when you live that way, you're going to get burned from time to time. So there are times when they struggle with the high octane pass game. They're really good against the run. They run the ball pretty well with Jack Miller. I mean, he's having a phenomenal year. Obviously, they throw the ball well. They kick the ball well. They won the game with an extra point that came after a 15-yard penalty. Braden Johnson had to kick. I guess that makes it about a 35-yard extra point, and made it with room to spare. They're good in special teams. Get after the quarterback. Will Gilbert has 10 sacks. I believe he had 5 against Eastern Hancock. So not the things. I guess that if there was one thing, and it might be they sometimes hurt themselves with penalties. And ask anybody who's ever been to a lapel game, because you hear it talked about. Ball starts at all sides. They do that a lot. It's almost like a joke amongst the fans. They just when they they see them jump and they just know, oh, we did it again. So that's one thing. But and I said that about the pass defense. They're still pretty good. They just sometimes when you're going for the big defensive play, sometimes you get burned. But a couple of those catches the Eastern Hancock kids made the other night were just ridiculous. They were Lynn Swan in the Super Bowl catches. So I'd watch out for that team, by the way, next year. Yeah. Because I think all those guys are back. But yeah, I think they sometimes hurt themselves with penalties. I think would be one of their big things.
And again, Rob, you don't make predictions, but if you did, you'd probably say Lapel's the favorite in this, in your mind?
I know what Winchester 8-1. John Arrow has Lapel as a 3-touchdown favorite. On the road, that's a pretty big number. I've seen this team play too many times to think that they're going to bow out this early. Certainly, the road gets tougher. I mean, if they're going to have to go to Eastern Hancock again, and let's not forget the last couple of times that those teams have played in the sectional, the team that won during the regular season lost in sectional.
That's right, and that's
something to think about. That's something to think about if they're headed down to Charlottesville on Friday. And then I think the game everybody wants is it would be Triton Central Lapel. They're both ranked in the top 10. I think that's the game kind of everybody wants. Centerville's only got 2 losses. Northeastern's only got 1 loss. There's no easy outs. This will be a fun section to keep track of this week.
We continue our preview of Class 2A Sectional 38 with Muncie Star Press sports editor Cade Hampton, who covers the Winchester Golden Falcons and the Shenandoah Raiders for a living, and he's here to help us with the preview. Cade will be at the big Lapel Winchester game on Friday night, and I bet you're looking forward to that one.
Oh, it's definitely an exciting matchup. I know Lapel is very highly ranked in the class and probably the heavy favorite to come out of this sectional, which is very stacked with good teams. But I think Winchester, they've got a really stout running game and have kind of developed their offense over the course of the season. And I think they could certainly give Lapel a run for their money if Lapel comes in there sleeping a little bit. I think Winchester maybe hasn't played as tough of a schedule as Lapel. Their conference isn't particularly strong, especially their last couple of games. But Coach Mike Jones really has those kids locked in. They got a really senior heavy roster, a lot of good athletes, and kind of a three-headed monster running the ball on offense. And Caleb Hummel, Aiden Weatherhead, and Carter Campbell, they've all had really, really strong seasons. And Campbell he kind of does a little bit of everything. He catches the ball a little more than they'll run it to him, and he also makes a big impact defensively. But they are probably going to be the underdogs going into this one, but I think it should be they could make it an exciting matchup.
Cade, so Winchester has the offensive game to hang with them or to possess the clock. Have they faced many teams that can throw the ball as well and have a quarterback like Devin Craig and then an outstanding receiver athlete in Jackson Craig?
Off the top of my head, the only really, really strong team I think they've played is Northeastern, and they lost, I think 35-7 was the final score there. So I'm admittedly not too familiar with Northeastern, whether they're a pass-heavy or run-heavy sort of team. But as far as I could tell, I wouldn't say Winchester has really seen a quarterback like Craig or really an offense like what Lapel runs. So that'll certainly be a challenge. They have the athletes on defense. Hardwick is a name to watch at defensive back. He's made an impact this year. They certainly will have to be prepared for a change of pace and what they're going to have to defend against.
Okay, how about the Shenandoah Northeastern matchup?
Yeah, that should be another very exciting game. It was a very, very good one in the regular season. I know Northeastern was a ranked team going into that matchup, and
if you like offense, it was a very, very good game.
Yeah, I don't remember the final score, but they combined for
50-43, almost 100.
Okay, yeah, 93 total points. I mean, and Jarrett Hellman, the quarterback for Shenandoah, did some insane numbers on both sides of the ball. I know Northeastern is definitely going to be looking for a revenge game there, but I was at the Shenandoah game the other day against Monroe Central, and the kids mentioned that they're excited to play that one on their home field in front of their home crowd, and they feel good about it. They feel good about going 2-0 against those guys, and it'll certainly be an exciting matchup again, no matter what. I would imagine that we'll see a lot of points once again, and it's really a toss-up. It came down to the wire. I think Hellman scored the game-winning touchdown with like 6 seconds left. So both teams obviously going neck and neck that first time, and Northeastern going to be hungry for a second crack at it. But that should be a very, very fun game. I will certainly have my eye on that one.
Who you taking? Who you think's going to win it?
That's a tough one, but give me Shenandoah. I think Jarrett Hellman's kind of built for these moments. He had a really great sectional game last year against Winchester and kind of brought them back from a 2-touchdown deficit in the fourth quarter, and he's been even better this year. So he kind of they also have a really, really great receiving trio out there. Garrett May, Carter Gray, and Blaine Stevens for him to throw to. All really exceptional athletes, big frames that can go up and get it in the red zone, and he's got a lot of good chemistry with those guys. So I think that Shenandoah team can beat these guys again.
Cade Hampton of the Muncie Star Press, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it as always. To start the interview with Eastern Hancock head coach Josh Holden, I asked him what his team has done to improve throughout the season.
I think we getting better at the fundamentals, tackling and blocking, and it's starting to show on the scoreboard a little bit for us. So that's the goal every week. We don't really talk about winning and losing. We talk about getting better. Kids have bought into that and doing a good job.
You had a 4-game winning streak heading into last week, and at this point, you kind of have to count last week as a win, right? You go on the road to Lapel. You lose by a point. That says you're probably ready for the postseason.
Well, I think it shows a lot of good things. I don't personally count it as a win, and that's what I told our team. I'm not into moral victories. I like looking every week, win or lose. We look at these are the things we did well. These are the things we need to improve on. Then we go try to fix them. And truthfully, I don't think that was our best game. I think we had quite a few mistakes and some things that, they did that I know put people in a bind, and we didn't figure it out in time. So that's coaches, players. We all made some mistakes. And I think if you fix those mistakes, I think what that shows is, counting the score.
That's right.
It shows that you can play with anybody in the state of Indiana. And if you want to go win a state title, it's not as far away as you think.
And your defense gave up a lot of points early in the season, didn't give up many late. And, most people say, well, maybe the schedule changed. Not a single team you played in the second half of your season has a below 500 record. So what's been the difference with the defense?
I went back and looked just at a few things, and I thought the stat that stuck out to me the most was Knightstown scoring, 45 points a game. So there's those people who want to say, oh, your schedule's front loaded and it was tough, and the back end is not as tough. It is tough, but the whole schedule's tough, and teams are getting better every week. But our sectional's tough. So if you're not going to play a tough schedule, you're not going to be ready for sectional. And to tell you the truth, I don't care what our record is. I care that we're getting better and we're, playing for each other, and we got a great culture and all those things. So, what's the difference in the defense? First of all, we learned how to tackle. Our tackling at the beginning of the year was not very good. We've gotten better since, because there's room for improvement, absolutely. But we made an emphasis to tackle every day. Kids have bought into that. I think the next thing is our kids stopped trying to make every tackle, and they started trying to do their job and let the unblocked defender make the tackle. And then we all rally to the ball afterwards. And it's really helped. We've had some things on film. Some kids make some incredible plays where they didn't make the tackle, but they made the play by being where they're supposed to be and doing their job. And, that's who we praise. We don't praise the guy who didn't get blocked and ran in and made a tackle. Good for you. That's easy. But the guy who's getting blocked by three people and maintained his gap, that's hard. So just getting them to play together has been huge. And then, we got a DC who, is getting better every single week at understanding not just how our defense works, but, how other offenses work, and just doing a great job calling. We've had some very key moments where he's just made some huge calls, and a lot of them down on the goal line. I think I said today we ought to play goal line defense every down, because our goal line defense is stout. So just doing some good stuff, trying to get better every day, and we'll see what happens in the postseason.
If you're going to win your second sectional in the last 3 years, man, you're going to have to go through a heck of a field. The team you're playing are the only ones that don't have at least 6 wins, which is, I don't know if I've ever seen a sectional with this many wins. Just talk about the field and what it's going to take to be a sectional champion at the end of it.
Well, first you got to win the first game. So I'm not going to look past that. Our coaching staff done a great job this week of preaching that to our kids. We've got to get better this week, and we've got to come out Friday ready to play. We've got a little bit of a target on our back. People are starting to notice us a little bit, so you got to be ready to go. We know that everybody in the sectionals tough and hungry, but the good news is, you get out of the sectional, you get to play more tough teams, so you'll be ready to go. So, no, I love it. I love being in this sectional. I love the teams. I love the camaraderie with the coaches. We played Northeastern way back in camp in June. So just a bunch of teams that are just very well coached. They're hard-nosed. They're record-setting team. Lapel, the kid just went to top 10 throwing the football against us, which you don't want it to be against you, but you're getting to play those teams. And if you're not grateful for that, you're thinking about things the wrong way, in my opinion, right? I don't want to go blow somebody out by 70. I don't want to go play a game where I know I'm going to win. I want to go play a game where I know I got to play my best to win the game. It just brings out the best in people, and it's the best games. We didn't win Friday against Lapel. We didn't hang our heads. We didn't go mope and cry, and we went, dang, that's a good team, and that was fun. We want to play more games like that. It comes down to, can we get better every single day and get better enough to be able to win week 1? And then can we get better enough to win week 2? And then so on and so on. And if we can do it, we're going to have a good offseason.
Coach, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it as always, and good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you for all you do.
We heard from Rob Hunt and Josh Holden as we continue our preview of Class 2A Sectional 38. Lapel has to be the favorite, guys, but it's wide open. Michelle, who are you taking?
I've done this all year. I love Evan Craig. I just think he is an elite quarterback, especially probably the best one in Class 2A, or at least one of the top 3 and one of the top 15, 20 in the state. I like him. I like Lapel and Triton Central to make it to the championship, and I will take the Bulldogs and a nail biter.
Here's my bold prediction of this one. Give me Triton Central to upset Lapel. I may be talking crazy here, but something about that just kind of screams sectional championship upset there for me.
I don't think that's crazy at all, but I am going to stick with Lapel. I will say I give their chances less than 50% because the teams in this sectional 9-0, 8-1, 8-1, 6-3, 8-1, 7-2. It's crazy. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. It's going to be a fun one. Thanks so much to Michelle and Grant for doing all of these podcasts with me. Also, thank you so much to Rob Hunt of the Herald Bulletin, Cade Hampton of the Star Press, and Eastern Hancock head coach Josh Holden for joining us. Please help us spread the word about the Central Indiana Sports Report. Thank you. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. I love Susie.